Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the DeadEndRoad show. I am Bill. Joining me is Roget again.
How's it going, everybody?
So we should have fixed the audio issues on Roget's end that were plaguing the first episode. There was problems with the mic, but that should be, sorted and not a problem anymore. So
I shouldn't sound like I'm underwater.
Yeah, thank you for bearing with us for that. First time, technical problems. We've had more than our fair share just trying to get this whole thing going. There's been more problems than we would have appreciated, but what can you do? So like we mentioned in the first episode, the first part of the show is just kind of be talking about what we're up to behind the scenes and just little updates and things like that. And then we're going to get into, I guess, more of the, I don't want to say fun stuff because I would like to feel that the beginning part is somewhat interesting, but who knows? But we'll get into like some of the pop culture stuff and things like that.
I guess it's just like daily horror conspiracy news.
Yeah.
What's been going on within the past week or so.
Yeah. We did want to mention that the DeadEndRoad show is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and of course any podcast app under the sun using the RSS feed that is available at video.deadendroad.co, and it is also available on YouTube if you get everything from YouTube, but of course it is still only audio only on YouTube. We are still plugging away on the first It Doesn't Add Up mini video. So that should be soon. Still don't have a firm date yet. Probably by the next episode we'll have like a firm date, I would say, for whenever that is going to drop. But yeah, soon is what I will say for now. Over on the Facebook page, Roget streamed for the first time, playing some Dead by Daylight, which was a solid first stream, I would say. And more streams are going to be coming for both of us. And we'd like to test out different streaming platforms, so we're going to see how that goes. So we'd like to ask people that care and, are interested, like where do you primarily catch your streams, or do you use a mix of, multiple, like I guess depending on where your favorite creators are. We're really interested to know that, just to see where it would make sense most for us, whether it makes sense to just stick to the Facebook page or to try out YouTube and Twitch and other things like that. So I think we'll put up a post on Facebook, and we'd like your feedback on that. And you could also reach out to us at video@deadendroad.co. So if you have a second and you would like to give us some feedback, that's greatly appreciated. And the other thing, I'm working on a review for the thriller novel, The Diary of a Serial Killer. It's kind of a wordy title. The Diary of a Serial Killer's Daughter by L.A. Detweiler. And the review should be out possibly by the time this podcast is live, so you can check that out on the website. Yeah, that's kind of an interesting read. The author reached out and provided the copy of the book for me, so I've been working on that for the last couple weeks.
What's it like?
It is. It's sort of literal, just based on the title.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally the Diary of a Serial Killer's Daughter, and in the beginning part of the book, she is like a small child that's writing this diary. And she notices that her dad goes out into the garage and is basically like hacking up these women. And she's like fascinated by it because she loves the color red.
Oh gosh, starting off young.
Yeah, so it's like it's eerie in the way because like you just have this young child that's, like she just loves the color red, and so she sees all this red and she's like, oh my gosh, my daddy's playing this game and it's so great and wonderful. So it's pretty weird, but I think it unfortunately runs into the issue a lot of writers have a problem with, where it's really difficult to write from the perspective of a child. Like really hard.
Yeah, because kids are so unpredictable, and they don't know how to control like what they're saying. Like, you know what I mean? Like they have no
Yes.
filters.
Yeah. So what
So
happens
I
is
get
they
what you're
kind of
saying.
yeah. So they kind of end up seeming like a puppet for what like information the author needs to convey to the reader, instead of just feeling like a child. It's very difficult to do. So I think the book runs into that problem.
Okay.
Especially because the book is literally nothing but pages of her diary. So that's like how the story, like that's nothing, like that's what the story is.
Is that how it looks like in the book as well? Like where it's like, you know how sometimes depending on how the writer, like for example, like you said, a diary. Does it look like a diary entries inside the book?
It's presented exactly as a diary. So every chapter starts Dear Diary and ends with, you know, like more later or whatever, you know, like.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a very literal book based on the title. But it is interesting just to, I guess, sort of, because at the same time, the character, this little girl, her name's Ruby, is still interesting enough where you want to see what keeps going. But like, yeah, it's just very difficult because there will be mixed in moments where it's like, okay, yeah, I can see a child saying this, but then there are moments where it's just like, man, the author forgot that she's writing the perspective of like an 8-year-old, and she needed she needed to get this piece of information in, but there's no way a child would either notice that or say that, and she definitely wouldn't write that in a diary. So it's really, really difficult.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but it's an interesting read, and I appreciate like the attempt at least. So I'll have a full review of the book out soon if people are interested in checking that out. And I have more reviews of, you know, thriller and like horror novels up there on the site as well, if that's more of your thing.
Yeah, it honestly sounds like a very interesting like book, basically, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it definitely is, because it's difficult to sort of do serial killer fiction without it being, you know,
like a real serial killer. And it's like, I like the perspective because people do forget about the serial killer's families majority of the time. You know what I mean? Whenever you hear about a serial killer, you hear about them and their life and what they did and what they've gone through, but you don't see the perspective of their family.
Yeah,
or
it's true.
The outside view, if someone knows what they're doing, especially an innocent kid who has no idea.
Right. I remember I was watching something on the BTK killer, who was probably like, I don't. It's weird. He was like too good at it. And he had like just such a normal family life, and it just like totally messed up his daughter, who was just like just a normal person, you know, just like
had no idea.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So,
which is understandable. Imagine you're just living your life, everything seems great. You're like, my parents are great, my life's great, and then out of nowhere, breaking news: your dad's a killer, and he's been killing people for years.
Yeah, so she was like giving interviews for like, you know, this like TV documentary, and it was just you can't help but feel for her. It's like, what is she supposed to do about that, you know?
Like, and there's nothing you can really say, like, my bad, I guess. Like, I didn't know what he was doing.
How can you blame a child for not, you know, knowing
and
that dad was...
And the sad thing is, people will blame the child.
Of course,
like,
yeah,
you could have done something.
They don't think of any, yeah, but yeah, it also reminds me of a movie I watched last year. I forget what it was. The Something Not Killer. It wasn't very good. It was the guy. It was what's his name? Dylan McDermott. You know that actor? I think he was in the first season of American Horror Story.
I think I know who you're talking about.
He was like the dad in the first season.
Okay, yeah, like in I'm trying to think what the first season was. The Killer House, basically. Yeah, Murder House, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about, yeah.
So, yeah, he was a dad, and it's not really spoiler to say that he was a serial killer. And so, like, and his son sort of finds out. but like we as the audience know that his dad's like pretty much the serial killer. And like the son finds out, and it wasn't a very good movie, but it was sort of interesting. Yeah, because he's like a Boy Scout leader, and it's meant to be like, oh, creepy. He's like the family man or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, but it's difficult to do like serial killer fiction that isn't super tropey
or like cheesy.
Yeah.
Or I will say this: my favorite show, one of my favorite shows in like top 10, like because I have like a top 10 of all genres of favorite shows, and one of it is Dexter. Like, see, you know what I mean?
If you would have talked to me before, like the final 3 seasons, I probably would have been right there with you.
I don't think about the last like couple seasons. I'm not gonna lie, I like the 6th season. I thought the 6th season, it needed a little bit of work, but I thought it was all right. It gave me enough. Okay. Now the last seasons after that, okay, the 6th season
was is that when well, this is gonna be spoilers for people that haven't seen Dexter, but is that the one where Deb finds out?
Yes. Okay. It's like the very end, like the ending, whatever. She's like, oh my gosh.
Okay, yeah, that wasn't the worst. Okay, I will. It
wasn't the worst, but it was the beginning.
Right, and then the final season went completely off the rails. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it kind of like destroyed the show.
Oh, almost. The end. That's the worst finale. People talk about Game of Thrones is one thing. Yeah. Nothing can beat how awful the Dexter finale was.
Yeah. So,
hands down. The worst.
It was I was very sad when I seen it. I was like, this is like one of my favorite shows, and it just ends horribly.
I was like laughing. I was like, really? Like what?
And don't get me wrong. For anyone who has not seen the show, spoilers ahead, just gonna let you know.
Yeah.
I sort of understand why he left and became a lumberjack. It's not what we wanted. It's not what we wanted at all. But I sort of understand, because it came back to what he said. He was like, me being a serial killer is just going to lead to the people I care about and love just being hurt in the process. So he feels like instead of going, I forget her name, but the girl who's with his kid, instead of going with them and putting them at risk, he was like, you know what, if I just go into hiding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so I understood it, but I'm like, this is crap. I'm like, I don't want this.
No. So the reason, but why didn't he like off himself then? He was like all set. He like takes the boat out to sea in the middle of the hurricane, right? And you're like, okay, fine. That's what he's going to do. He's just going to give himself up to the sea where he dumped all the bodies all these years. And it's like, okay, fine. That's the end. Like, you can deal with that. Like, it's poetic. It's whatever. It's nothing special, but like, that's the ending, you know? And then it's like, nope, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to go to, Oregon or whatever, or Washington, and become a lumberjack. Like, what?
Yeah. I have no idea. It was very upsetting, because I'll admit, everyone always told me who watched the show, 4th season is their favorite. I'm a 5th season guy. 5th season was always my favorite. I had problems with Rita. Rita made me mad.
Was 5th season the one with Colin Hanks?
Trying to think. No, I think that was 4th season with Colin Hanks, with the Zodiac. I mean, not the Zodiac. I mean, what was his name for it? Because he killed in 3s, they first thought, but then they found out he killed in 4s. No, 4th
season was Trinity. That was...
okay, you're right. Trinity Killer.
No, Colin Hanks was like the apocalypse dude.
He was the 6th season.
Oh, okay.
The 5th season was like the motivational guy. And he had like his group of friends, and they were killing women. He never put his hands on them, but he watched... Like, because he was telling his friends what to do.
Man, and they didn't kill one of them at all.
My favorite season of all of them. It was like Dexter was just doing this thing, getting ready to kill someone. He was waiting in their house. He ended up He put him down the moment he killed him. There was one of the girls that they didn't kill yet still in the house. She was locked in the attic, but she's seen him do it. And then Dexter, blah, 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 finds out her story, and he's like, okay, I'm going to help you kill them so you can get your revenge.
Oh, right.
And he was falling in love with her, and he was like, she's just like me. She's a dark passenger.
Yeah.
But by the end of it, after they killed everyone, she was good. Like, she was like, I don't feel the need to kill people anymore. And he was like, okay.
Yeah, I remember. I just felt that it was a weird way to rebound for him.
Mm-hmm. I guess he was heartbroken. He was like, you know what? I need this to deal with what happened to me last season.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Dexter knows how to pick him, right? I mean, we've seen how...
Sure.
Don't get me wrong. Second season...
Oh, Lila. Oh, man.
I'm not gonna... I understood the temptation of Lila. But I'm like, after the first couple things, I'm like, okay, she's crazy, Dexter. Get away.
Yeah. Man. I'll never... Pardon my tits.
Yeah.
That line.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my God. I'm going to have to slap the explicit tag on this one.
Right?
Damn it.
Don't forget R.I.P. Sergeant Dokes. He did nothing wrong.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, at least he got the meme out of it. Surprise, motherfucker.
Oh, my God.
He got that. I was so surprised, like, when I first started watching Dexter, I was so surprised they killed him off so fast. I thought he would last, like, at least a couple more seasons, but nope. Second season, they took him out.
I think in the books, he's more of a dick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's, like actually stalking Dexter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the kids. I think.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been so long.
Mm-hmm.
The books are good.
Like, I'm going to have to read them. I didn't even know there was books. I just knew about the show.
Yeah, the show's based on the books.
Okay.
The first season is like pretty much just like a literal adaptation of the first book.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, it's completely different. So it'll be interesting. Like if you want more, you should read the books.
I'll most definitely have to check out the books.
Yeah, because there's like enough differences to really make it interesting for fans of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like the kids, like he basically trains the kids.
Really?
Yeah.
To be serial killers?
Yeah, because he like realizes that they have like urges and like dark passenger shit.
The dark passenger.
So, yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Oh God, yeah, that does sound interesting. I did not expect that at all. Yeah, I most definitely have to pick up that book.
Yeah, check them out. So yeah, what else were we thinking about lately? Well, coronavirus is canceling literally everything. So that's a bummer.
Walking Dead. What else? It's making movies like come out later than they were. I know. Is it the New Mutants? Yeah, the New Mutants is being post-dated.
Yeah, it's like everything from like Fast and Furious is being delayed a whole year to.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I mean, I don't watch those movies, but like,
they should just. I'm surprised they're just not superheroes at this point.
I mean, aren't they?
Basically, I guess.
Yeah.
Once you throw the rock at it, they're superheroes.
Yeah, I mean that's just like the whole wrestling thing. They're either
and now John Cena's a part of it.
Or
Yeah.
Villains. Yeah. But yeah, concerts, TV, film production. It's just like
conventions, all of it.
It's everything. My Twitter feed was nothing but tour and concert cancellations. Like I couldn't even use it, which was actually a good thing. So I was like, okay, I need to get off this damn hell site. So,
No, I get it.
Get off
And
Twitter.
I know a lot of conventions are being shut down. I know Pittsburgh TechoCon. It was like they were going back and forth on like canceling it or not, but now they just moved the date to June.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I've seen someone there like happy. They're like, oh, it's not canceled. It's just moved to June. I'm like, I mean, you better just hope that we even make it to June. So far, how this year's going.
For real. Yeah, but I mean, the big one was E3, which would be in June.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, people Sony was already not going anyway.
Yeah.
But that was unrelated to the.
They didn't go last year, didn't they?
No, they didn't. They're done with it.
I didn't think so.
already.
Yeah. Okay.
It was already dwindling. Like last year was apparently like empty, even though it was already open to the public.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're recording this on the 17th, and so tomorrow Sony's gonna finally talk about the PS5. So I guess next time we could talk about what the details are, which will be interesting. I think that thing's gonna be expensive, which is gonna be a bummer.
Oh, easily. I could easily seeing it either being like $500 to maybe $700.
I mean, based on the spec, like
give or
there's
take
like
a couple
leaked
hundred
specs going around, like that it might have a terabyte SSD. Which I mean, SSDs are getting cheaper, but like that's gonna bump the price up. I mean, unless they sell it at a loss, but Sony usually doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be expensive.
Yeah. I mean, every time a new system comes out, it's like, oh, more expensive. More expensive. More expensive.
I mean, the PS4 was not bad.
Mm-hmm.
That was like $400.
I feel like though every one they get, it's always $100 more, if not more.
Well, PS3 was like stupid expensive, and that's why it flopped at the beginning. It was like $600.
Really, I forget that. Oh gosh.
Yeah, that's why Xbox.
No wonder
had
it
the edge in the
flopped.
beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Xbox was like $200 cheaper.
Mm-hmm. I guess the only thing that I do miss about the PS3 was that like you didn't need online, like you just got it for free.
Yeah. And now even Nintendo's in that boat.
Yep.
I have it for the Switch, but I don't play anything that requires online.
I didn't have it for the Switch for the beginning because I was like, I don't need this. But then I was like, I got Pokemon Sword.
Yeah.
And then Pokemon Home, and I'm like, you know what? I need this. So I got it recently.
Because I don't have that many games, but like the only time it came in handy was Fire Emblem. Because there's like sort of online features, but like there's no multiplayer. So you'd think they just give you the online features.
Yeah.
But no, you still needed the online. Because like even games that would like be like that on PS4, you don't need PS Plus for that. You just have to be connected to the internet. So that's kind of annoying. But it kind of came in handy just for like... There's like minimal trading, like not directly. You could basically put up like like one of your NPCs to be like a vendor. You can just like sell shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you could see what other people did on those days, like just based on percentages or whatever. But like that... You shouldn't need the subscription for that.
This is Fire Emblem?
Yeah. So
I just have beef with Fire Emblem because Smash just keeps taking characters from Fire Emblem and just putting it in there. And I'm like, give me Waluigi. That's all I want.
Yeah, this was my first Fire Emblem game, so I don't even know who all the other ones are. Except for Byleth. So, yeah. So...
I've never played a Fire Emblem game.
Normally, I don't like strategy RPGs. I prefer turn-based. Just like regular turn-based, not, but this one was really good. I really enjoyed it a lot. I got really into it. Mostly because of the characters and just like the social sim elements you can do. there's just like a lot of interactions between the characters that I really enjoyed. So it was worth it. There's just like annoying things with the difficulty with that game, because like the normal difficulty, even if like you're not like really into, because like I'm not into strategy RPGs, and even if you're not into like turn-based stuff, it gets stupid easy.
Oh, really?
Like stupid easy. Like you don't even have to pay attention at all to anything. But you can only raise the difficulty once. And if you raise it, you can't lower it again without starting over. Or actually, no, wait, I have that wrong. I'm sorry. So you can't raise the difficulty, but you can lower it, and you can only lower it once, and you can't raise it back again.
And I assume it's like the basic like difficulty settings, like easy, normal, and hard.
Yeah, and then there's they had to add a additional difficulty option as like DLC because people thought it was too easy. That they called like merciless or something like that. But you couldn't even select that. You had to restart, like you had to start a new playthrough in order to play that difficulty.
Isn't that what most people say about games nowadays, that they're a lot easier than they were back in the day? I mean, I guess we can't also, like, nowadays you can literally, I'm having problems, I can look this up online. Back in the day, you were just screwed until you got it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on the game. Like, I feel like I play enough like niche shit that's hard.
Where
like,
you don't run into that.
Yeah, like I'm playing like mainline Shin Megami Tensei games, you know, where like it's designed to just kick your ass, or it's broken. Like SMT4, the beginning dungeon was just not play tested and balanced properly at all.
Okay.
It's basically the tutorial, and everything can one-shot you.
Oh.
So what you have to do is save every battle you win, and so you're level up enough so you just have enough health to survive normal attacks. So it's not hard, or like you don't have to get good. You just have to like get lucky and grind slightly enough for you to survive. It just wasn't balanced properly, and the rest of the game is fine. It's like balanced right and challenging enough where it needs to be. It's just the very beginning, like the very first dungeon you do. Like, so this is like hour one of the game. It's just busted completely.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, I think there's enough challenge in like the right games where there needs to be. But yeah, like, what was I playing recently where I was playing on, Outer Worlds. I bumped that up to hard, or I guess whatever the hardest is. And that's not even like, I guess the only challenging thing about that is that you just survive like more hits or less hits before you die. So it's really not even a matter of the difficulty of it. It's just, I don't know, the way it's set up. Like, do you know what I mean?
No, I get what you're saying.
Like, it doesn't make the game
more difficult.
It just makes it more annoying, I guess.
Yeah. You're just more vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like, if it was more difficult, they should have added more, like, enemies to, like, where on easy mode you'd only fought, like, 2 of them, but, like, on hard mode you'd fight, like, 5 to 7 of them.
Right, or just, like, enemy accuracy or something, or, like, enemies use different types of, you know, attacks or
stronger
strategies
weapons.
or stronger weapons or whatever. But it's just like more like you take fewer hits to die, and it's just like, okay, fine. And that game's not even about combat anyway, so it's just like, well, whatever.
How would you compare like Outer Worlds to like Fallout?
So I was talking to a friend about this recently because he's finished the game, and I've only done like the first planet, which I need to get back to. So it really, really, really wants to be Fallout, and it wants to completely like take the place of Fallout in every single way, but it doesn't because it can't. And what I mean by that is they give you like areas to explore, like these planets to explore, like sort of like the environments in Fallout, you know, with like there's raider like outposts and things. I forget what they call them in that game. They're not raiders, but they basically are.
Okay.
They're space raiders, you know. But the combat is just like super, super thin and shallow. Like the weapons aren't nearly as interesting as Fallout. The shooting is fine. Like it's probably not even as good as Fallout 4, which is not saying all that much. Like your companions, which is slightly more advanced than like Fallout companions because they have abilities, so it's I guess closer to BioShock. Or not BioShock, I'm sorry. I'm confusing BioWare and BioShock. It's similar like a BioWare thing, so it's like Mass Effect is what I meant to say.
Okay.
They're sort of almost like it's just like you hit a button and then you go watch a cutscene, like a tiny second cutscene, almost like a VATS shot, you know what I mean? Where like you'd shoot with VATS and you would get like the little, you go watch the bullet kill the dude. You hit a button and then you go watch your companion kill a dude. Is basically what the companion abilities are. So it's not really that deep. And so like the first planet, I wanted to see absolutely everything on the planet. So I explored every nook and cranny. And it just felt like a waste of time. Because there wasn't that much to see. Like I picked up loot, but the loot isn't interesting because there's like 5 weapons in the entire game.
No, that's it.
It feels like, I was just picking up the same weapons over and over. The weapon upgrading is like nothing. You don't need to do it at all. It's not even like it wants to be more advanced than like Fallout 3. It's like Fallout 3's repair system even. But it's just something to fill your inventory. It's not anything you should really even
worth it.
Like at a certain I learned like quickly on, it's like, well, I should just stop picking up weapons because like there's no point. There's not even any point in selling them because I can just find more money that I can get selling these weapons. And so I was just like going around killing these raider camps or whatever for no real reason. Like there weren't even quests there. So like in terms of combat and exploration, it can't compete with Fallout, even though it wants to be. Like they included that stuff to be like, well, hey, Fallout has that, so we have to have that too. But it's really shallow and thin. So on the other side of it, what it wants to do is take the similar kind of thing of Fallout New Vegas and the older Fallouts, and to an extent where Fallout 4 failed, like with the faction stuff and faction reputation and that sort of deep RPG stuff where choices matter and you need like dialogue options and skill checks, and oh my god, the skill checks, and you need the right stats and all that kind of thing, that like deep RPG stuff. That is the thing it does really, really well.
Okay.
That's where it's like, okay, well, Bethesda's abandoning that kind of thing in Fallout, so we'll just do that instead. And they did, and it's really good. So
is the story at least interesting?
Oh yeah, completely. Yeah, it's that's the best part of the game. Like your choices matter. You have to make difficult, morally gray choices where you need to figure out, like you need to gather all the information. You got to talk to people, and you got to figure out what they want and their goals are and whether they're lying to you, and like what they're really after. And maybe you can deceive them too and like pass these skill checks, and you can go around and hack their computer and read terminals and things like that. So that is the thing where it's like, okay, fine, you took that and you ran with it, where Fallout 4 just completely abandoned that kind of thing. So that is where they surpass Fallout now. And of course they took the similar kind of Art Deco-y, Americana satire visual style, and sort of made their own thing. It of course isn't like as iconic as Vault Boy or whatever, but it's sort of it is enough where it's like, okay, yeah, this is its own thing, and you could see where it's similar, and like where it's not just like a 1-for-1 copy. It's of course saying its own things and doing its own things, where Fallout is like a satire of Americana and 50s and like 30s to 50s culture, and the American industrial complex and American politics. This is just straight up anti-capitalist sort of satire. So it's definitely its own thing, but it's like, hey, this is that kind of experience. So my main point is that like I think it would have been like a stronger game if they would have just not bothered at all with sort of the exploration and like such an emphasis on combat where there didn't need to be. Because it's just really, really shallow and sort of like doesn't need to be there. It just sort of takes away from the stronger aspects of the game. So it's at a point where it's like, well, okay, I'm just going to ignore that now and focus on the story and everything else. So because that's what the game excels at.
All right, Outer Worlds are Fallout 76.
Oh, I mean, that's not even a contest.
not even a contest.
No, it's not even. One is a functioning game, the other one isn't.
Yeah.
So.
But one has Mothman in it.
I mean, if I want a game with Mothman in it, I'll just play Persona or SMT.
Oh, I didn't know. Persona has Mothman in it?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Well, because all the personas and demons are from mythology and like religion and stuff. So
okay, Mothman best cryptid.
Yeah, he's in there.
Don't at me.
You can add him. He can be your persona.
Nice.
I feel like I just talked for like 20 minutes.
That's what happens, man, when you get into what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we also have to bring up the legendary actor Max von Sydow. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but he passed away at the age of 90s. His credits include The Exorcist, Dune, Minority Report, Shutter Island, Star Wars, The Force Awakens, and The Game of Thrones, among many, many others. I'll admit, like, I do remember him in The Exorcist. Could not stand that movie as a kid, because I'll admit, when I was a kid, like, demon movies and, like, possession movies scared the living crap out of me. And they're the only ones who really scared me. Like, I liked monster movies and all that. I didn't really get scared or nothing, but, like, Exorcist movies, oh, no, I did not like them. Did not like watching them at all. They freaked me out too much.
Yeah. What about now?
I can handle them better, but it's like you either have like the weird trauma as a kid where it's still at you, like it makes your skin crawl.
Oh yeah,
it still does a little bit, but I can watch them with a lot more ease now, where it doesn't bother me as much. Because I still have like a wild imagination, but it's like I also reality, Raj. You know this ain't gonna happen. You're good, bro.
Yeah.
Like, back when I was a kid, I'm like, if I turn the lights out, I might be screwed.
I love like possession stuff. So like The Exorcist is just such a friggin' classic to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. Yeah, I love stories like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's a bummer. But he had such a long and like illustrious career. So
90 years old. I hope to make it that far.
for real, yeah. Anybody would be lucky to have like 1/8 of his filmography. You know.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, I think a lot of people that aren't sure if they've seen him in something. He was the three-eyed raven in Game of Thrones. So
Okay.
you've probably seen him. But yeah, but that reminds me. Speaking of like possession, exorcist-y kind of things, have you seen the show Evil on CBS?
No.
It's I was my expectations for it were low considering it's like a show on network TV, but it's like really, really, really good.
Surprisingly good.
Yeah, it's I don't usually get into like procedural kind of shows. It think of it as sort of like the X-Files, except instead of aliens and shit, it's like the Catholic
Demons?
Church and like possessions and demons and stuff. It's really, really interesting. And just the way that they handle things, and like it's a procedural, so it's like Monster of the Week, so like every week is a different case, but they build on it so well, like the narrative through line of the first season builds so well, where it's just not like, oh well, you can just forget that was a different case. Like it just flows together just great, and the cast is really good, and they handle a lot of like current events and like current topics and like interests in such a nuanced way without, you know how like Law and Order will try to do like, oh, this is the VR episode, and it just comes off as like really forced and cheesy.
Oh, whenever like they'll tie it to like current events, like
yeah,
I know what you mean.
Yeah,
like where it's whenever a celebrity does something wrong, they're like, okay, this isn't we're not saying it's him, but it's him.
Right. Yeah. They just turn it into an episode. They talk about current events in like just such a smart way. Like such a big part of the first season, like they just talk about incels like a lot, and like they don't just like name drop it. They like actually talk about like why they're like doing messed up shit and like why they're the perpetrators of, you know, violence against women and mass shootings, and like they talk about 4chan and like actual serious shit.
All right.
And they
so
just they don't
kind
just
of
like
relatable.
name. What's that?
So it's like relatable, like to okay.
Yeah, but they don't just name drop it either. They're actually like talking about it in a context where it's like giving some sort of, you know, criticism and tying it back into like where they're like, you know, they have something to say about it. They're not just, you know, name dropping it. So it's really good, and there's like even some really creepy moments too, especially for a show that's just like on network TV. It gets, you know, there's some good scares, I would say, for some people there. So, and I don't think it's like easy to dismiss because it is on network TV, and the show is just called Evil. You know, it's not like the most interesting title.
Is this like a brand new show that just came out recently?
Yeah, I guess it just premiered last fall. And it was like 13 episodes, so it finished up, I think in like January, the first season, and it's coming back next fall for the next season. So
okay.
I would suggest people check it out. I was really surprised by it. So if people are looking for something new to watch, I'd give it a shot.
What streaming platforms is it on?
Oh, I have no idea. I guess if you have the CBS thing, I don't know. I got my hands on it through, you know, some methods, but yeah.
I got you.
Um,
Almost definitely. That does sound interesting.
yeah, I definitely give it a shot. Did you want to talk about the Dead by Daylight? Because
The Death Slinger.
yeah.
All right, yeah. It's so I'm a frequent player of Dead by Daylight. It was a nice twist because like it's always entertaining to see the people like people's guessed on who the next killer is going to be because like if you play Dead by Daylight, the promo video, like the first feature that showed what the new killer is, all it was is a chain, and everyone was like guessing. My favorite guess by people was Chain Chomp from Mario. Which would have been great. I was like, no way in hell that was going to happen.
Yeah, that
but
seems
it
just
would
like
have
a
been
weird mod or
great to see
something.
Chain Chomp.
Yeah.
If someone can make that a mod, I would be extremely happy.
Yeah,
Just make
that's
Chain
like
Chomp
right
a
behind
killer.
Thomas the Tank is like. Yeah.
I've seen the Thomas the Tank mod in like the Resident Evil game, and like which I'm like, okay, this works. I like it.
Yeah.
The eeriness, but the Death Slinger, I would say that it's nice because like it seems like he has a more quieter like heartbeat than the rest of the killers. So it's like he's walking towards you, but it's like you didn't even notice he was walking towards you. And like you have to be careful when you are running away from him because he'll just shoot his gun and then you're chained and he just reels you in like a fish and you're caught. And like unless you are on a corner or anything, you're lucky enough to get it to break, you're pretty much screwed.
Right.
And I do enjoy
Yeah,
it because
you were playing him on stream, right? I was watching you play. So, how close is that to something like Roadhog's Hook or whatever? Where
I would
like is it basically like if you get hooked, you're just gone?
yes and no, because like I said, if you're on a corner or like by a wall enough, like you have a chance of breaking the chain and just getting away, and it causes him to like force him to catch his breath. But I also like it stops people from being assholes at the gate whenever they open and they try and teabag you because it can screw you over. Like
Sure.
you can't teabag at the door no more because he'll just I'm gonna reel you in, and I possibly can kill you.
Yeah.
Because like in the stream, like I did that actually, like where someone it took 2 hits to get him, but they're playing around like, okay, there's no way he's gonna get me. Reeled him in, hit him, and then they were so shocked that I even got him, they ran into the wall, and I still downed them before they hit escape, and then I put him on the hook.
Yeah.
So I'll say I like him a lot. Like I've been playing him a lot lately. He's a very fun killer.
Nice.
At first, I was wishy-washy about him because I'm like, From my experience of playing games, I have terrible aim. I have never been a good person. Like like Overwatch. My main was Winston because I didn't have to focus on aiming. The gun did the hitting for me. I just had to move around. But like this game, I like him a lot. He's a very fun character to play.
Sort of. I was just gonna say, like, what's the frequency of like, how often do they add a new character?
Every couple months or so.
Okay.
Like sometimes, like I'm trying to think. The order it's been like the last few. Sometimes they will. Rarely they'll do a survivor by himself or a killer by themselves because that's what they kind of did. The most recent one was the Death Slinger, then it was Oni and the survivor with him, and I'm trying to. Then it was the Demogorgon with Nancy and Steve. And I'm pretty sure Ghostface was before them. And then they had Ace before him from Evil Dead.
Oh, okay.
But I know currently they're like, because they dropped a bunch of like properties, like I said, Ghostface, Ace, Demogorgon, and like people from Stranger Things. So they're like working on their own killers. But it's like every couple months or so, like they drop a new killer. Which is it's nice.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are hoping for Candyman to be the next killer. Him or like someone like Jeepers Creepers.
You think that would be closer to when the movie's out, though?
Possibly. It would work out.
Yeah.
I think it will work out. I mean, but they did Stranger Things randomly, like compared to like whenever the show dropped, they just nope, here's Stranger Things.
Well, I bet that's just to keep like interest in the show
Yeah.
whenever it's not
Yeah.
on air, you know, because like they don't like whenever a new season drops, I don't think it needs any more promotion
Yeah.
than it already does. But that's like turning into its own like empire.
Oh yeah, it's starting to
So-
its own thing, and I know it hyped a lot of people because there are no real Stranger Thing games, so it's like,
Right.
oh gosh, there's you get to either play as a Demogorgon or Nancy or Steve.
So let me ask you this, because this might be a basic, stupid question to anybody that's played this game, but like, so like obviously the killers have different abilities and stuff, but like, are the survivors just different skins, or do they do different stuff too?
Basically, they're just different skins.
Okay, I was gonna say because it
I
just
mean,
looked like everybody was
I guess-
running around the same.
Different skins with like different perks of their own, but once you get them to level 30 and like you can unlock all their perks and like level up other survivors so you can get their perks, so then it's not that much different from each other.
Okay.
Where the killers, yeah, you can get the same perks as the other killers over time, but they all have their own special attack basically, or special thing that they do with their own.
I see. Okay,
But I'll say
interesting.
it's a fun game. I like it. It's the main game I pretty much play
Yeah.
right now. I will bring up another game that dropped a DLC, and I was super geeked about this DLC. Mortal Kombat dropping Spawn. Like that was the one. Like I've been waiting for him. Like I've been wanting Spawn in something for ages now. And I'm happy, like, and he fits perfectly with Mortal Kombat. And then you also have Keith David voicing him. It's perfect.
Yeah, he's a great voice actor.
If you need someone to be a bad guy, get Keith David.
Yeah.
He has the perfect villain voice.
Was there what was their last character before there was like something else, wasn't there?
I'm pretty sure it was Terminator.
Right. They'll just throw Terminator in anything, won't they?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think it was like in Gears of War. Like all kinds of weird shit.
I think it worked out basically. I do like how Mortal Kombat does do their DLCs though, because it's like they'll bring out random ones. I mean, I didn't really care so much about like whenever they added Texas Chainsaw Massacre or like Jason and
Mortal
stuff.
Kombat?
But yeah, they have them. They're DLC characters.
Huh.
I think in 9 or 10, one of the two. Actually, I think it's 9. 9. That's like Jason, Texas Chainsaw, and I think Freddy. But I did like.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure in 10 they have like Alien and Predator,
Right.
and I would take people's souls with Alien. Don't come at me. Yeah, because I know this one, like the DLCs for the current Mortal Kombat are Joker, Terminator,
Oh, that's right. They added Joker.
Shang Tsung, and then Spawn. I get why they had a Joker, but I'm like, Joker would get annihilated by these guys if he ended up in their universe.
Well, I think
Like, I understand
I
he's
think
a
it's easy
chaotic.
because it's just all Warner Brothers, so they can
Yeah.
just throw them in there. And plus, they probably had shit from Injustice.
Yeah, true. I'm surprised they're not trying to do another, like, kind of like Marvel versus Capcom does. But, I mean, I guess they did do DC versus the Mortal Kombat universe.
Yeah.
And I remember people said it was terrible. But as a kid, I enjoyed it as a game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you ever see something that you liked and then you're like, you see everyone's reviews and everyone's like, yeah, this is a bad game.
Yeah. Sonic R. Okay.
Uh-huh.
That is the game. It's like a childhood favorite of me and Tori. We had it for PC, but I think it also came in Dreamcast, but we didn't have a Dreamcast. We played the crap out of that game. It has the best soundtrack. And if you ever heard a song from Sonic R, you know, Living in the City. But yeah, we would play that game, like all the time, and it turns out it's like an infamously bad game, and we had no idea. We just played it. It was fun to us.
It makes you feel bad. You're like, wait, what? Everyone hates this game?
Yeah, what are you talking about? That was a great game.
You're like, I enjoyed it.
Like it looked great. Like, yeah, what? Yeah, people hate that game.
Uh-huh.
Like
you'll try.
That was like Sonic 06 before Sonic 06.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. My favorite Sonic game would most definitely be Sonic DX. Used to play it on the GameCube. Got stuck on Big Cat though. Didn't know how to. I cut the scene too fast, and I didn't know what to do. And I was like, "Oh,
wait,
guess
Sonic
I'm done
Adventure
playing
DX.
this game." Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like whenever he's fighting Chaos.
Yeah. Yeah, people forget how buggy those games were.
Yeah. No, trust me, dude. I understand though. It's like, because that's how. Well, like I thought Mortal Kombat versus DC was a great game whenever I was playing it, but then like found out later on down the road, everyone was like, "No, the game was trash." I'm like, it did its part for me. It had people from both universes going at it, and I thought it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe now if I play it, I'm like, okay, I see what you mean, but I still thought it did its part. It did what I wanted from a game of having both universes. You're just
playing a game.
Mm-hmm.
You're not looking at reviews or whatever.
Yeah.
You're just like playing the games that your parents gave you.
I mean, I guess from like a straight Mortal Kombat aspect for people like who like the fighting, the combos and everything, maybe it isn't that great of a game because I used to think I was good at Mortal Kombat until I went to a convention.
Yeah.
Oh, it was terrible. Like, and it's just like you walk into the game room, you see a kid playing by himself. You're like, I'm gonna go play with him. Like, he's playing the game I want to play. All right. There was a reason why he was sitting by himself. I was like, "Hey, you mind if I join you?" He was like, "Yeah, go ahead." And I'm like, "All right." I picked Sub-Zero because Sub-Zero is my man, and he picked Jason. I'm like, "Okay, I got this." Oh, it did not touch the ground until I was dead.
Oh my god!
And then I learned you don't go into the game room and see a kid sitting by himself and go play with him because there's a very high chance you're going to get spanked.
Well, hey, at least nobody else was around.
Oh no, there was people around.
Oh, okay.
My friends were behind me, and they were like, "Oh, they had commentary."
Oh my god!
I'm like, "You guys play?" They're like, "No, we learned our lessons without having to take the test."
Oh, that's brutal.
And I'm like, "Yeah." After that defeat, I was like, "You know what? You can play this game by yourself. I'm gonna go play other games."
That's brutal. Yeah, I don't understand fighting games. I just don't have the. Yeah, I don't know.
Dude, I'll admit,
I appreciate like watching them or whatever, but like I can't play them.
The only fighting game where I will say, because I don't like to say I'm good at games. I don't, because like I've met people good at games. Mm-hmm. I'll say I'm the only game, like fighting game that I know of that I feel like I have confidence in myself that I'm not no chump and I won't get spanked easily by anyone. Super Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Only game I have faith in it. It's like, because I've played really good people and I've beaten them. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, got my fair share of getting spanked, but it's like I've delivered my own spankings upon people. And like fighting games, they're tough. I'll admit it. It's like, because I'm not the best at remembering combos. I just go. I'm not a button masher either, though. I just do my own thing. It's just like, because I have friends who are like, my one friend, he was like ranked 5th in the world at the My Hero Academia game.
Wow.
And I'm like, I've played the game with him, and he completely annihilated me.
Sure. Yeah.
Moved to Persona 5.
Oh man. Should we get into this? It's been like an hour.
We can.
I mean, I guess we can't. Yeah. So I'm a crazy person. So Persona 5 Royal's coming out in like 2 weeks. It's coming out like the 30th or whatever. So I decided I was gonna get the platinum trophy for the original Persona 5 because I did the same thing for Persona 4 Golden on the Vita. I got the Platinum Trophy for it. So I played the game once before when it came out, and now I got to play it again for the Platinum Trophy to get the rest of the trophies. And then Royal's going to come out, and I'm going to play that. Because I'm insane. So that's what I've been doing. So, like, I started in, like, early February, and I got, you know, a good way through. And then I stopped for a month, and, like, it wasn't even, like, a deliberate choice to stop playing.
Just happened.
But then I just didn't play it for a month. You know, there was like a Final Fantasy 14 update. You know, I was playing that. You know, shit happens. So now I'm playing it again, and I have like 2 weeks to finish it. So I've just like put these stupid constraints on myself to do something I don't need to do for no real reason other than like I'm just making myself do it. That's all. I've just lost my mind is what I'm just trying to say. Yeah. So the main point is that I will eventually have played Persona 5 4 times all the way through.
Does it get better each time?
I guess we'll see. I don't know, because it had been 3 years since I had played it originally for this playthrough. And I am noticing certain things, like this isn't a spoiler, but before Makoto joins your team, she's actually following you around, like spying on you, like as you're walking around the city and stuff. Like if you turn around, you could see her, and she's like holding up a magazine to try to hide herself, but she's just like literally 10 feet behind you.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice that the first time I played ever, because I guess I was just like walking forward wherever I didn't turn around. But this time I happened to turn around. It's like, oh, she's following me. And you can go talk to her, and she's like, oh, hey, what are you doing here? You know, it's just like, so stuff like that I didn't notice before. I feel like I'm going through a lot faster, like not even like intentionally doing it, but just because I know how things work. And even things that I didn't, like there was puzzles in I guess the 5th or 6th dungeon, I forget what the number is, but I got stuck on it so hard the first time I played, and this time I didn't even remember how the puzzle worked, but I just breezed through it without any problems, like without even like really thinking about it. So whether that means it's lodged in some part of my brain that I just can't access, but subconsciously I do, who knows? But yeah, that's what I've been up to, because I'm a crazy person.
I'd say there's only been one game I think I've replayed multiple times, and I'd say it was probably Pokemon Emerald. Favorite game. It's my favorite game of the whole franchise. It was like the only one that I've been able to replay multiple times, like where I restart. And this is before like you could save your Pokemon. It's like if I restarted, I lost everything. Like there was no getting my Pokemon back. But it's like I enjoyed the game so much that I'm like, you know what? I don't mind restarting and trying it out a different way.
Right. Yeah. I usually don't do that. Like, and if I have to, like, sometimes I'll go for a platinum in games. Like Fallout 4 was one I deliberately tried to get. But like I didn't need to play through it multiple times in order to get it, so I knew I could just get it. But I did it for Fallout 4 or for Persona 4. And it was really difficult just because of what you needed to do in that game to like get all the personas, and you had to defeat Margaret, which is like a secret boss battle, and hear all the navigation lines in the dungeons, so you have to like trigger all these specific conditions in battle in order to trigger navigation lines. Just stupid stuff. The bug catching. Oh my god, the bug catching. Oh my god, you know how many saves I had to reload? Just like stupid stuff, and I did it for no reason. And it took me so long. So the Persona 4 Platinum took me so long that Persona 5 came out because I did this same thing before. So I was like, oh, I'll get the Persona 4 Platinum before 5 comes out. It took me so long. 5 came out. I was playing 5 while simultaneously finishing up the 4 Platinum. That's how insane I am. I was playing 2 of these giant JRPGs simultaneously. And now I'm just like, oh yeah, I'll get the Platinum for this game, and then I'll play the souped up version again whenever. And then, like an idiot, because it has a different trophy list and has a different platinum, I'll do this over again. Why? Why am I doing this?
You know what game recently? I'd say the most recent game where I've restarted playing it, but it was not my fault. I did not. It's not the same reason why you play Persona 5 over. Fallout 4. It is because of that damn bug. Do you know what bug I'm talking about?
Was it the thing where the robots?
Yes. Oh, I was so sad because I didn't know about it. Like, I just knew, like, because I have, like, when I first started playing Fallout 4, it was like I bought the one with all the DLCs on it already.
Yeah.
So I'm playing it, didn't know anything about the bugs or anything, and then I get to it, and I'm like, all right. I'm like fighting it. I'm fighting all the machines. I killed all the machines. It's not moving on. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then I looked it up. I'm like, yep, you're kind of just stuck. There's nothing you can really do. There's no way to get out of that scene because it's just a bug in the game. And then there was like, maybe you got a saved file. And I realized all my most recent save files were at that scene.
Yeah.
So I literally just had to restart the game. I was so sad.
Yep.
Because like I had so much progress. I'm like, okay. And it's like I was so far along in the story and everything, and I'm like, you know what, I'll do this. Because like in Fallout, you could do what you wanted at any time. Like you can continue with the story, or you can do a side mission. I wanted to do the side mission, and I was like, oh, this is terrible. It was like, and I realized I had to restart the game because none of my save files would have put me anywhere where I'm like, I can just avoid this. Nope. I just had to restart the game.
Yep. Well, the same thing happened to Tori, where it wouldn't let her progress with those robots. So that like that DLC was just broken for her. And she was like, well, I don't know when it broke. Because she would just do stuff where she wandered away. She didn't know that those robots were part of the DLC or whatever. She just killed a bunch of robots. And so she was like looting all over the place, and she's like, well, I don't know what save to go back to. I don't know how far I need to go back to. So she went back, and they were dead. She didn't know how far back she should go. She's like, well, I guess I'm just not doing that DLC. And she played the rest of the game, and she just didn't play that DLC because she wasn't going to restart because she was,
No, I understand. It's so sad when you get the hours in and then it's just like, nope, you got to restart it. All those hours wasted.
Yeah. Yep.
I get it.
It's funny because I heard this is something my brother said. He saw this online that somebody had deleted like their friend's Persona like New Game Plus data.
Oof.
Because they had only saved in one, like they saved everything in one slot. And I went into like my soul left my body because I'm like going through this whole platinum ordeal. But I'm like, why in the world would you save everything on one slot? So Persona is very particular about its saving system. And this is going to sound like the most boring shit to anybody that has not played Persona 5 or doesn't really care about like min-maxing the schedule of Persona. You have 16 save slots. And so Persona is about, keep doing things daily. And, like what are you going to do today? Are you going to go talk to this guy? Are you going to, go into the dungeon today? Are you going to raise your stats today? Like, what are you going to do today specifically? So the calendar is very important. So you have 16 save slots. So you can save every other day, and then you have the whole month covered. So if you screw up something, like you didn't mean to talk to that guy, or you missed this event because you talked to somebody you shouldn't have, or you realized that you needed a specific stat on a certain day, all you have to do is only go back one day. So you're not really screwing yourself. You're only going back a day. So it'll maybe waste as most as 20 minutes of your time at that. Instead of, going back further, or, God forbid, keeping everything on one save. For this 100-hour plus RPG. Where you otherwise can't go back at all. So, it just, my soul left my body when I heard that. It was just unbelievable. So yeah, if anybody is going to play Persona 5 Royal when it comes out in 2 weeks, save every other day and you'll be fine. This is the moral of the story. And maybe don't go for the platinum unless you want to lose your mind, like me. True.
I have a friend who kind of just went through the same situation recently through some events going on in his life, and it's just like, I learned recently, if I'm playing a game on a PlayStation 4, save it to the cloud.
Yep, you gotta back that shit up.
Because it happened to my friend, his PlayStation 4 situations, and he had beat the whole game of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and like he had like Xenoverse and all that stuff, and it was just saved to his PlayStation 4, and it's like, his PlayStation 4 is gone now, and he's just like, yeah, dude, all those hours, all that grinding, gone. And I'm like, dude, that was my first thought. I was like, I wanted to cry. I wanted to hold my friend and cry with him because I understood that pain.
It's rough. Yeah, like when my hard drive failed a few years ago. Well, first of all, I thought the PlayStation was broken. I was like, well, what the hell? But I guess I was lucky, it was just the hard drive. But yeah, like if I didn't have cloud backup, that would have been rough. But then I learned, like, I used to do it more frequently, but I would make copies onto a flash drive of all my saves. And like, of screenshots, and if I had like made taken screenshots or anything, because that stuff doesn't back up. So that's another moral. If you're on a console or whatever, the screenshots and the video clips do not back up. So if you want any of that stuff, make hard copies, because if the hard drive goes, it goes, and it's gone. But yeah, because I think I mentioned this on the last podcast. Like, I had PT installed, and that's gone because the hard drive died. So can't get that. But at least I had the saves. But yeah,
we're saving a lot of people with this info, so they don't make the same mistakes.
In order to learn that, they got to get through an hour of me ranting about Persona. So only the truest of the true will get that wisdom. Understand.
No, learn the secrets.
Yeah. Should we call it there?
Yeah. I think it's a good time to stop.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a good one.
Yeah. It's most
barring
definitely
any
worth
catastrophic recording issues.
No, I do
Who knows?
not
Maybe
sound
my
like I'm underwater
this time. Like, just the way luck's going.
Yeah, right. 2020's been a rough year so far.
Yeah. But yeah, so be on the lookout for some streams. Please keep an eye out for, like, it won't be like a survey, but just like, asking for some feedback. about where your viewing habits lie. It'll really help us out and get our plans going. First It Doesn't Add Up mini will be soon. We're plugging away. We'll have some other videos. They're all in the works. Coming soon, too. And Roget's been killing it with the memes on the Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're somehow listening to this and not on the Facebook, throw a like. Helps us out, too.
We greatly appreciate it.
Yeah. And then we will see you in 2 weeks for another episode of the Dead End Road Show. So, yeah.
Until next time.
It. All right. Stay safe, everyone.
Wash your hands.